Thank you, guys. Thank you for so much for joining. I think we have people coming in, but anyway, we want to stick to the schedule, so we'll just get started right away. It is 9, and we are supposed to get started. So thank you once again, Ruben, for joining us today.
No problem.
We have quite an interesting topic for the discussion today, and guys, who is joining, like we said, we are going to have this in a conversational format instead of boring you with the presentation. We'll just talk about real time experience on how exactly we are solving crisis, how exactly Ruben is solving a lot of issues day to day basis from a customer support perspective, and how exactly you can use Vmaker in order to make it efficient, or add to whatever efforts he is putting into. So without keeping you waiting, let me just go ahead, share my screen, and we can just get started right away. uh, so we can you guys can see my screen. Ruben, can you just give me a confirmation?
Yes, I can.
All right. So, just to give you a bit of intro, Ruben has been handling the customer support at Animaker for the last 2+ years, and he has done a pretty wonderful job. And when we thought about doing a webinar on customer support, we didn't have to think twice, but to knock doors within, our own person. So, Ruben, once again, thanks for joining. I'm glad to have you here as well. Uh, Ruben, just like I said, this is going to be a conversation webinar, and I just have a few questions. And the theme of the webinar, obviously, is, how to, improve customer support for 2021. People would have seen that as well. So, I just have a few questions piled up under the same scenario, and we'll just be discussing. And people who's there, if you guys want to join the conversation, you can just raise your hand, or if you have something to add in, please feel free to use the chat or the questions column to hop in as well. We'll have a collective conversation for to sum up today's eve. Um, all right. So, Ruben, you ready for the game?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. I hope I didn't make you feel nervous there. Perfect. Yep. First thing I want to start. All right. I was doing my own research, about customer support, and I was just going through 10 or 15 blogs at least, to prepare some, topics based on which we can discuss today. And everyone started with this one particular word, in every blog I saw, that is called as empathy. And I'm just trying to understand, like, how important is empathy is towards, answering customers' queries, or how does that come into picture here?
I mean, to tell you right off the bat, it is very important. You need to first acknowledge the user, like whatever the issue may be, small or big. You need to first acknowledge the user to let them know that we are there to help them and we are there to solve
Mhm.
their question
That's right.
solution. So first is acknowledgement, and then to further dig down into how exactly we can solve the problem. In Animaker, what we normally do is we ask them for their project details or URL so that we can check it on our end to get a better understanding of what the issue the customer is facing. And
Got
then
it.
if it is just a simple solution, we would tell them over chat or even do a screen recording and then share it over with them so that they can replicate it on their end and fix the problem. Or if it's going to take some time, we'll tell the customer, what, we need some more time to investigate on this, and we will tell them a set timeline and then reach them back and see that the loop is closed or something.
Perfect. So I think the key to understand, take away from there is, acknowledging what exactly the customer, is trying to tell you is probably the first step towards, answering the question. Is what I believe is the key takeaway. And just one more thing to add there, or one more thing which we have discussed in the past as well, is it's just asking the customer to use Vmaker in order to record the snippet and then send it to them. We have seen that, in many cases we have to go to and fro, ask multiple questions in order to get to the root of the issue, which is what you were also trying to convey. And I think Vmaker, we are trying to simplify that use case exactly here. Probably ask them to record, a short snippet of what exactly the issue you are facing, and then probably send it to us. And that will help us, both the parties, to convey things in a pretty quick manner as well. So yeah, definitely empathy. That is the key takeaway I would probably put in my notes today. Understand what exactly the customer is trying to tell you, and then probably answer it. That's
Yes, I
really
would like to add that yes, you are actually right. Recent days when the customer actually sends a video recording of what the issue they're actually facing, it becomes a lot easier for us
yeah.
to understand it better and then provide a quick solution rather than going back and forth asking tons of questions on what and all. So this is very efficient when they send a screen recording to us.
Definitely, I think it only frustrates, in the other hand, when it happens through the traditional way. But yeah, this one, it simplifies the way for both people,
Sure,
on
sure.
both the ends. Actually, that's great. I just have a few more questions to build on that as well. So the next one, obviously, I had is okay. I need to click here. So yep. How to avoid repeat work? So uh, we at Vmaker, we just try to talk more about productivity at quite a few cases, right?
Mhm.
We definitely say that this is not just a tool that is a simple screen and video recording, but it does help you as a productivity tool as well. So in that case, when you work as on customer support, definitely there would be a lot of chat agents there, and they would be reproducing the same work. They would be reinventing the wheel again and again. So how do you avoid those repeat work which is happening?
Okay, yeah, what you said is absolutely right, because most of the questions are not only here at Animaker, but in any SaaS product level, you see like most of the questions will be repeated questions, that someone has already answered. So the best practice here, what we do is we have a knowledge base with all the frequently asked questions and queries that are there, and tag them with relevant keywords. So what
Right.
will happen is when the user asks a particular question, and the agent will just go and search for the relevant keyword, and once they find the answer for it, they will just simply link it to the user, so that they don't have to again keep typing or do another set of screen recording for it. Since we already have stored in our database or knowledge base, they would simply link it to the user, which they can share it with the user. And if the user asks any questions in that, then they can answer it, to as per what the question the users have asked.
That's amazing. I think the tags are definitely a blessing, I should say. In different areas, it's very simple, but then it is the most effective thing that is happening. And I think one more area which probably I can add here is if at all like people who are watching, and oops, I'm sorry, think I just clicked the wrong window. So if people who are watching, if you're just looking at this for the first time, or if you haven't tried Vmaker, we have this option called sharing your creating workplaces actually. If you can manage to crack that, you can actually create workplaces in between, and that would help you to implement whatever just Ruben said. It's basically, instead of creating tags, you would be creating different workplaces, and under each workplace you can customize it to whatever function, or based on whatever tags you are differentiating, you can use that to categorize it and work towards it as well. So yep, I think tags is definitely one particular solution, and if you're trying to solve it through Vmaker, then definitely creating a workplace is a good option to go through as well. um, yep, Ruben, I'll move on to the next question now.
Mhm.
um, Okay, so this is something I know which is up to debate. I know many people will have different opinions here, but you are someone who does this day in and day out. So I want to hear from you. Does faster response actually imply better efficiency?
I mean, it does to a certain level, because the reason why I say is like, especially in Air Dynamica, like since we do chat support for the most of the part, like once
Yeah,
the customer is reaching out to you for support, since it is a chat, they're expecting faster response times. So we do recommend our agents to acknowledge first whether they have the solution right at hand or they don't. First acknowledge the user that someone is taking care of the issue, and then if it's a very quick fix, they give the solution right away then and there. But if it's going to take some time, we would need to set the right expectation to the user, telling them that this will take some time for us to investigate and stuff, so that the customer is not left hanging in the chat while we
yeah.
do our stuff here. So this is what we do.
Definitely, I think it just has its own pros and cons. No matter how, I'm pretty sure people who are listening would also be thinking about difference. But at any point, one point is response at any point, or probably even 90% of the time, it is always good to do it at a faster pace. And just to quote you once again, nobody likes to be left hanging, and especially with the culture which we are trying to build, or generally the world how it is moving, people are ready to trade time for money. I'm sorry, ready to trade money for time, I should say. So if they can save 5 minutes, they're ready to spend an extra few bucks and then get it. So definitely, if at all we can manage to get faster responses delivered, then yes, it is a huge add-on at this point of time. So yeah, and once again, from my end, if I need to give you an option on how exactly we are trying to solve it through Vmaker, it's just that we are simply creating links. For example, if you create multiple think, let me just try and share this once again. Last time it was unsuccessful in sharing my screen. Let me see if I can share. Okay, finally I got it to share. So this is guys who are listening, this is exactly the workspace which we were speaking about. In the previous question, he was just mentioning about how exactly you can use tags in order to categorize, and you can see that I have just have a clutter of videos here. Rather, I have a folder which exactly is my workspace, or just categorize it. And just like Ruben mentioned, you can use tags here. And secondly, if you want to share all those videos, and if you want to get some quick response, the best way to do it is just copy this link and send it. And this is the best way. Link sharing is always a good idea to have. Instead of typing for the keyword, or instead of searching for the article, you can straight away share the link, which always saves time. And once again, if I need to quote him, nobody likes to be left hanging. So that's actually a good point to share as well. um, Perfect, Ruben. I will quickly move on to the next question. We have some questions coming in as well, guys. We'll just take that up once we finish the session. We just have a couple more questions left, and once we close that, we'll just move into the question section as well. But please do keep them coming. We'll definitely take them up at the end. So Ruben, this is something which is really important, and I'm sure many people would love to understand this, how to measure the outcome. And when I say outcome, if I need to be more specific, I would say, what are some of the key KPIs you would be looking while solving some customer support queries or as a function.
Okay. So, I mean, there are a lot of KPIs, but the two important things that we consider here is, first thing is the response time. Because as I
Okay.
told you, being majorly on the chat support, we need to acknowledge the user first. So that is one thing that we measure to understand how quickly any of the users' questions are being acknowledged and answered. So that
Okay.
is number one. Number two is FTR, or first response time, meaning
Oh,
like if a customer comes in with a problem or a solution or an issue, like we need to ensure that it is closed completely, and it all the questions related to that particular problem or issue has been sorted and given to the user, because we don't want the user to reach back to us with the same question again, because
definitely.
it is it is just a waste of time, and it means that we have not provided the entire solution to the user. So these are the two important things that we consider when measuring KPIs and the outcomes.
Definitely. Hey, I just have a pretty bad memory, but I got first response time some say etched into my memory. What is the other one? Can you just repeat it once again?
It is FTR, first response time.
And the other one?
Response time.
Okay, normal response time versus first response time. You were saying
Okay, sorry. The second one is actually first time resolution. Sorry about that.
first time resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think I missed that. I thought I
No,
heard
it's on
that.
me. It's on me.
Alright. So yeah, I think that's another one. It kind of coincides with the previous one which we had as well. Faster response, or be it how exactly the quicker you respond first, definitely matches up. And one more interesting point, what you brought up there is, we don't want to answer the same questions twice. I
Yes.
think that's a pretty cool thing. But do you use any tracking mechanism or something in order to understand if the customer is asking the same question twice? Is it happening through the chat agent or something?
No, like what happens is, like we will have a list of recent conversation that the user has talking with us. So
Okay,
in that, before answering to any questions, like we will go through this previous chat to understand the history about the customer, and if
got it.
we see that the user is reaching back to us again with the same question, then we'll know, okay, this is the second time that we're going to answer this question. And we'll ensure that the customer doesn't reach back anymore back to us with the same question.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Yep, I think that's another wonderful thing to. But first response time, once again, I think we are circling back to the same point again and again. We have to respond. We have to respond fast. That is something which is turning out to be a prominent answer. All right. So I've just got my final question for you of the day, that which is basically, uh, a critical one as well. And when I posted about this webinar, people even asked me this question as well. So but I'll just start with the first part of the question now, and then probably I'll follow up.
Okay.
So to start with, how exactly does the feedback loop works, in a customer support function?
I mean, it is very crucial
Okay.
because not what it's not only important that you provide solutions, but it's also important to hear what the customer is saying, of the
Mhm.
service or
Yep.
the that you offered.
Yep.
So it is very important because that let us know to understand what are our areas to improve and what are our strong points. So we encourage users to give feedbacks at the end of each conversation so that we understand how exactly it went and what exactly the user feels.
Okay.
And when in case the user provides a negative feedback, we study it, we analyze it, like what could be done better at that situation. And then if there is any changes that we can do about it, we will do it, and also inform the user about it so that they know that their feedback has been valued and necessary changes has been done to
Wow. Okay.
to help them understand that we value their feedback at the highest level.
Definitely. That's something new. Acknowledging users' feedback is something we don't see it quite often. We just see an automated message popping up saying that your feedback is registered. But if we just look into it, and then if we kind of personalize the reply, I don't know if it is possible to do it manually on a large scale, but if we can personalize it, saying that I think it definitely delivers a sense of secure satisfaction. But then Ruben, I'm just gonna make you a little uncomfortable here with my follow up question, which is basically is I had this question, coming up on LinkedIn for me when I told about this webinar.
Okay.
A person asked me, many people would, submit a feedback whenever there is a negative response. I mean, the stigma always, fires up whenever there is a negative response. But whenever there is a positive experience, it's kind of taken for granted. I mean, come on, man, this is how it is supposed to be. Why am I supposed to write a review here? So overall, when you take the list of feedbacks we have collected, there is a good chance that this is biased, right? This whatever feedback you have collected could be biased, and how do you manage that? Is there a solution really to handle this, or is it something we need to take it with a pinch of salt?
I mean, I couldn't agree more because, as you said, like, only when, the user faces through a negative experience, they are more aligned towards writing a feedback. And it is right. As I told you, like, we would need to take it in a very, in a way that we would want to learn more from it, and to solve that particular issue or the problem, what the customer felt to be very not appropriate for him. And then, so I would say yes, we do. The negative feedbacks, they come in all the time, but it's how we approach it is the most important thing. Like, not looking at it like a negative feedback and seeing as an area of opportunity is something what we do here. And
Wow, that's
so
nice.
that is why we welcome negative feedback, so that it just help us improve.
That's awesome, man. I think to be honest, I was not expecting that reply. But yeah, it definitely changes the facet. You just blew the question away. And people, if I need to rephrase Ruben's answer, for you once again, it's just that, if at all you are getting a lot of negative responses, don't worry about it, because at the end, you need only them. Positive responses, yes, it definitely helps you boost some energy. But if at all you get a lot of negative feedback, then obviously it just means that these are areas we need to work on, and that's why he says that they welcome that as well. That's awesome, man. I really didn't expect that, and that's a very nice answer to have as well.
Thank you.
um Perfect, Ruben. I think that's with that I am ending up the questions for you, and thanks once again for joining with us today. I know we had to give you a very short notice, but still you managed to come in, and you have delivered some valuable insights. I'm really looking forward to see the recording once again, probably go through your answers once again, and learn one or two things from that once again as well.
Okay.
um, Thank you once again, Ruben, for joining. But before I let you go, we have
Uh,
some questions coming in, and
sure.
once again, just before that, people who are watching, if you guys want to continue such conversations, we have a lot of these conversations going on in our Facebook as well as in our Slack group. In Slack it is Vmaker, and in Facebook it is called Productivity and Workflow Growth. Please do search and join us in our groups, and if you have signed up for Vmaker, you would have already received an email with links to all these groups, so you can join there as well, or the webinar registration link will try to add there, and you can find it and you can join there as well. So we are really looking forward to continue this conversation in multiple platforms. You can find a lot of people like Ruben from different disciplines to help you understand and get you productive in your own discipline. um Yep. Okay, let's just probably jump into the questions now. Let me stop sharing my screen so that we can just see each other, and we'll see. Okay, first one is from Bhavani Srinu, and she has asked, "Do you encourage phone calls from customers?" Okay, that's nice.
Okay, so how I would answer it, like as I told you before, most of the questions that people ask are repetitive questions. For that, we already have answers in our knowledge base, which we will share it. But say, for example, you give the solution to the user, and
Mm-hmm.
they're still unable to follow it for some reason. Then we would say, okay, let's set up a meeting and then guide them uh, through the call. But about, I would say, if I have to give a rough percentage, about 90% of the users will be satisfied with the answer that we gave. Only the 10% will want us to get on a call. But if they do, then we'll try to understand what exactly they didn't were able to understand in that particular solution that we offered, and then probably maybe tweak that answers as well, to ensure that if we give it to any more users in the future, they'll be able to get a good grasp of it.
Sure. I think thanks for adding some numbers there. I was looking forward to it. So only 10% of customers look forward to a phone call, you just said, right?
Yes.
All right, all right. And okay, I'm just curious, and I'm going to be a bit selfish here as well. Do you find videos working better than phone calls there?
Of course.
All
I,
right.
I work in a video industry. Come on.
All right. So, Bhavani Srinu, I think I'm not sure if you're from the customer support team, but if you're managing to improve, you should definitely move on to videos. And I've got someone vouching for that as well. So videos does work better than phone calls. So if you guys are working on phone calls or emails for that matter, you can definitely try out videos. In order to make it much more effective for both the parties, not just for the customer, but even for your support agents as well. That's really nice. And I'll just quickly move on to the next question.
Uh-huh.
And okay, this is something about Vmaker. So this is from Matthew, and he says, "Is there a free trial for the Vmaker app?" Okay, Matthew. Yes, there is. Actually, it is forever free. You can start at $0 this, and you can continue using it. Of course, there are some restrictions on using it. You can just go into the pricing page and you can view it. But yes, you can continue using Vmaker with unlimited videos forever. So, yep, that hope that answers your question. And the next one is from Shivam. Okay, can I upload my Vmaker recording to YouTube? Okay. Yes, once again, the answer is yes. You can upload it, but the only thing is that you need to download the video and then upload it. Depending on whatever frames you have recorded the video, you can just download it directly from your dashboard, and then you can re-upload it to YouTube. That is how we have kept it right now. Um, Next question. Okay, this is for you, Ruben. I believe this is
Mhm.
from Panchal. And how do you find the right time to upsell to your current customers? Okay.
Okay, so I mean, this is a very tricky question. So we need to ensure that we're not putting the customer in a very uncomfortable situation first. So,
Definitely.
but basically, how we do it in Animaker is, say for example, I'm just giving a very very rough example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say for example, the customer is asking if they can improve a video quality or
Mm-hmm.
something, but we check out their details and see that the current plan doesn't support the quality that they're expecting. That is the time we'll try to upsell, saying that in this plan, or in this upgrade, you'll be able to get this particular uh, video quality and also other benefits that comes with the plan. So this is one instance how we will upsell. But we'll also want to make sure that it doesn't cross the line with the service that we're providing, to make the user feel that we're being too salesy, because we focus more on service. But if there is a right opportunity for us to pitch for a higher product or a higher upgrade, we would definitely do that.
Definitely. And do you do this over the call, or do you take this like offline? How do you find the right moment or
In
and the channel to do it as well?
To be quite honest, it depends. Like, if, say for example, we're talking on chat, and if we find the right opportunity where we can just pitch in for that particular upgrade, we will do that. Or when we're calling, when we're going through the phone call and the user is expressing his feedback, and we see if any of the higher plans would be able to satisfy his needs, then we will pitch in at that time. So it actually depends, we need to find the right opportunity, because we can't just be going on a call and say take the higher plan. So we need to
Definitely
we
not.
need to find the right opportunity where
Well,
we can just pitch in for
you
the
can
plan.
still do it if you're planning to lose the customer, but if
That's
you're
right.
planning to retain him or win him back, then definitely not. But yeah, I think it's something up to what it's something you take the call at the right time, right? It's up to you to learn it from your own experience and then implement it. But one good thing, like you said, is definitely not be pushy and don't open with that line. If you have a problem, then obviously the answer, even if it is the answer is to pay and get it, we need to put it in the right way. I think that's nicely said, man. Cool, then I think we are done with the questions, I believe. And yep, I have also added the link to the Facebook group at the chat. So people who are watching, please do use the link. If you're seeing this in the recording, then you might find this on the video description. You can just get the link and join us on the Facebook group, meet many people like Ruben, like me, like you. Let's all meet, chat, and help each other to stay productive there as well. And Ruben, once again, thank you so much for joining. You've been an absolute charm, I should say. And quite a few things I have learned, picked up on customer support from today as well. And I'm sure people who are listening would have also done the same. Thank you once again, Ruben, for joining. Any closing words from you?
No problem. I was very happy to be a part of this as well. And
Cheers.
I have to mention that this is my first webinar.
Oh, that's great.
So thank you for having me here.
Memory for you then. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you once again. Thanks everyone for joining. I'll see you guys soon in another webinar with another, industry process and with another expert from the same domain as well. And if you guys have any suggestions for us, please head over to vmaker.com, use the chat window, or you can also write to us, hola at vmaker.com. We are happy to listen to you and, probably organize the next webinar pretty soon as well. See you guys until then. Cheers. Bye bye. Thank you.